Soul Hunters, welcome back, and today we've got another build guide for Vex, and this one a little bit different in that I didn't even really think it was possible. When I was playing Vex I mostly focused on the green tree, but this one is a melee build, and honestly it's actually some of the most fun I've had with this character. It's kinda ridiculous, so we're not going to mess around here, we're just going to jump into the skills. We're going to talk the gear, the guns. There's not a lot of requirements for this one, so it's really nice. You just really need skill points and you're good to go. And that's about it, so we're just going to jump right into it. Drop a like if you enjoy this one, subscribe for more Borderlands content coming soon, and let's get into it. So we'll start with the skills, so that's the main component here. So for the skills, most of our points are going to be in the blue tree. We've got a little bit in the red and none in the green. So we're getting a couple of bonus points from our class mod in this tree. Some of them we're not too interested in, but others are quite good. So we'll just start from the top here in the blue tree, because this is where most of our points are. First of all, Sanguine Fiends, kill skill, Vex and our minions restore health, so that's just really good. It basically means the Reapers that we're going to be spawning for melee damage are just going to heal every time they kill something, which is absolutely fantastic. We're getting 3 bonus points in there from the class mod, so it's up to 32% heal, which is just absolutely insane. For the next skill, we've got Fell Inscriptions. Vex and her minions gain increased melee damage and maximum health. Absolute no-brainer. Melee build, we want the melee damage, and the maximum health will just mean that the minions are healing more when they're triggering this kill skill. So that's just really good. For this one, Cursed Blade, we've only put 2 points in here. We just had some leftover points, and I don't actually think it's that much of an amazing skill. So this one, you can maybe sub that out for something else. And the follow-up skill to it, Extra Cursed. Curse damage now triggers on minion melee damage, so the minions that we summon, they can now trigger it, and it says it has 200% critical hit damage, so if you get a critical hit then it's going to do double damage, or plus 200% damage, so technically triple damage. For the next skill, we've got Blood Sacrifice, so activate kill skills whenever our minions die. The minions that we summon, they're going to constantly lose health, so unless they're killing enemies over and over again, they will eventually die, which will trigger a kill skill. So if you have 3 Reapers up and one of them dies, it's going to activate that kill skill, and if the other 2 Reapers are injured, they're automatically going to trigger this heal from Sanguine Fiends. For the next skill, we've got Grave Fiends, so another kill skill, which again will be triggered if a minion dies. We're just going to deal increased damage, and our minions are going to deal increased damage. Stacks up to 3 times for 12.5% per stack, so a maximum of 37.5% damage for 16 seconds, so that's absolutely bloody brilliant. For the rest of our points in this tree, we're going down the middle one here. So our augment is going to be Hellish Harvest, so it's going to upgrade our Reapers and give them the ability to use Hellish Harvest, which deals melee damage 3 times in a large area, and they regenerate health, so that's going to keep them alive longer. They will use that when they spawn and every 3rd melee attack, so they're going to be doing that quite often. And 15% heal per hit. I'm not sure how that factors into multiple enemies, or if it's just flat heal per hit regardless of how many they hit, because it's like a sweeping attack, so it will hit a lot of people, and the damage is pretty good there as well. So this one's kind of a no-brainer for this build. We're just putting 1 point into Burning Attunement just so we can trigger it, so we're probably going to be using the Fire Attunement for most encounters, because fire's just really good and it works really well with melee. It's going to also give us a little bit of critical hit damage and status effect application chance when we're attuned to fire. And then the next skill is Recurrence, so whenever we deal gun damage or melee damage, we gain a stack of this, which increases minion gun damage, which doesn't matter, but minion melee damage is going to increase that. Stacks are lost when we haven't gained a stack for a duration. 1% melee damage per stack up to 50, so a maximum of 50% melee damage for our minions whenever we deal damage, basically. So that's just it's a really good stacking mechanic. It also increases our gun damage as well at the same time, so it does both. It's just really damn good. The next one, this is a brilliant skill, how do you even say that? Reverberations. Melee damage dealt by us or our minions has a chance to deal incendiary melee damage, so it's on top. So that should be like on top of the base damage, I believe. So it's 50% chance, and it's 150% of the initial damage dealt. So I think that basically just means if this triggers it, your melee is going to deal like 250% damage essentially, so absolute no-brainer. The next skill, we're going Haruspex, so this one's a melee override. It's actually really cool. So it's going to trigger every so often on a cooldown. We're going to throw phase daggers, that deal melee damage, so it's still considered a melee attack, but it is ranged and it can critically hit as well. And on kill it's going to reset, but we've taken the follow-up skill here called Pincushion, so we're going to be throwing 5 daggers, and instead of resetting it's only going to refund 33% of the cooldown, but definitely worth it for the 1 skill point. And the next skill, the last skill that we've got in this tree, is Burnt Offering. So we're just going to deal increased incendiary damage and increased incendiary status effect, so 40% flat fire damage increase and 30% status effect damage. And for our capstone, the only one that we can equip here is Grim Reaper, so we're going to be able to summon the Grim Reaper that will constantly drain and deal status effect damage over time, and it regenerates while it's draining enemies. And when an enemy dies while they're being drained, there's a chance that a new Reaper will be spawned, and that is 33%, so it's actually pretty damn high. Status effect obviously based on the attunement, which will probably fire in most cases, and the regen is 1% per second. It's got quite a high cooldown though at 2 minutes, but this one is absolutely excellent as well. For the other bonus points we're getting from our class mod, we're not too fussed about the top one here, Prismatic Weaponry, because it's all about Spectres dealing bonus damage with gun critical hits, but we're not really going to be using the other Spectre that uses a gun, so we actually don't care about that skill here. This one's okay, Spirit Bomb. So Reapers gain maximum health capacity and release a bomb remnant when they die, dealing damage of their elemental type to nearby enemies, so it's 36% extra maximum health, which is actually really good, and the spirit damage is 5,354. Obviously downside, it only triggers when they die, but if I could get a better roll on the class mod I would, but we've just got these ones for now. And for the last skill points, we've just went into the red tree just for some extra utility here. So we've got another kill skill, so restoring a percentage of missing action skill duration, so 25% restored on kill, which will trigger on kill, but it will also trigger when one of our minions dies as well, so this is going to be proccing a lot more than you might think. And for the last 3 points, we've got Hasty Fiends. So Vex and her minions gain increased movement speed and damage reduction, which will affect all of our Reapers and ourselves of course, so just a flat 15% movement speed and 20% damage reduction, which is active all the time. That's absolutely fantastic. So that wraps up the skills here, so pause if you need to while you're looking at those, but now we'll jump into the mandatory gear, and there's not a lot here. So for the gear, we've got, I'd say, 1 mandatory weapon to be honest, the rest, the gear down here, 3 pieces of mandatory gear. So for the weapon, we've chosen the Firm Bugbear, and the only reason for that is because it pairs nicely with our enhancement. So the good thing about this melee build is you can kind of use any gun that you like, to be honest. So for this one, this actually drops from the Bio Omega Thresher. You can find the Bio Omega Thresher in the Fades district of Dominion City, right here on the map. You will need to complete a 2-part quest chain, which is around about here on the map near the Sumpview Falls fast travel point. You'll complete that quest, which will involve killing the Bio Thresher Omega, who drops the Bugbear. But like I said, you can use any other gun. If you like a specific gun, then feel free to use it, as long as it's good and it does lots of damage, then you're sorted. For the mandatory gear, the first piece is this class mod called Detonating Illusionist, and what this does is basically just level up the Reapers massively and just completely changes this build. It's not the same without this class mod at all. So Spectres and Reapers, so Reapers in this case have a chance to be badasses. They're going to gain increased maximum health and damage dealt. I'm not sure what that is, it doesn't really say. The chance increases the longer it hasn't occurred, and it will occur if 90 seconds has passed without it triggering. I have seen them, they often just spawn as badasses, so as soon as they appear, they are a badass, which is just brilliant. And it's going to reduce the phase clone health loss over time, so 33% slower. The second roll is ordnance damage, which if we could get a different one I would, because we're not really concerned about that. We would probably want melee damage or something else. So this one has an increased chance to drop from Callus, where you can find at the Mooncalled Throne. So I actually didn't get it from her, I got it from the red chest after killing her, funnily enough, but this is where you want to go for this one. I think it's got a higher chance, so if you need that class mod, that's where you need to go. For the shield, we have chosen the heavyweight, and this is just absolutely brilliant because it basically lets you deal massively increased melee damage when you attack It's got 4 armor segments, and each time you attack it's going to consume one of those segments for double melee damage. This does work with the throwing daggers, but it will only trigger once, so it doesn't trigger on all 5. If it did, that would be absolutely insane. And this one you can find from the Vial prototype in Windspear district on the map. It's right up here at the top right of the Terminus mountain range, and he's over here, the Vial prototype. I don't think he's tied to a quest or anything, maybe one of the main missions actually, but you go here and he will drop the heavyweight. It took me absolutely forever to get this. I must have killed him like 100 times, I swear to god. I was actually like starting to doubt if he dropped it or not, but he does drop it, and that's who you want to kill for this one. So the 2 rolls on there don't matter too much, as long as you get the shield itself, then you're absolutely sorted. And for the grenade, obviously with a melee build, atomic slippy, this one's just really good. It's got increased damage and increased radius. And obviously the good thing about this is the grenade itself does melee damage, so it's going to be scaling really hard off of all of our other melee buffs. And for this one you can get that from Shadow Pelt. Shadow Pelt can be found in Cuspid Climb Terminus range in the Whistler's Maw Auger Mine, which is right here on the map, and you just go inside there, kill Shadow Pelt, and hopefully he'll drop the Slippy for you. So that's the mandatory gear and guns, so that's what you will absolutely need for this to work. Obviously rep kit, really all you want is one that has this hard hitter trait here. We've got the shiny war paint right now, which if I could choose I would pick a different one, but because it's got that trait and it's got a pretty decent cooldown, we're sticking with it for now. If you can get a triple bypass with the melee trait, then absolutely upgrade to that, but just as long as it's got this hard hitter trait, so we're going to be getting increased melee damage when we use our rep kit. For the enhancement, literally anything that complements whatever gun you're using. If you're using the Bugbear like we are, you want something that increases Torg weapons. So for this one, we've got 50% chance to call down a missile barrage on an enemy when we get a kill, more splash damage, more assault rifle critical damage, and gun reload speed, which just feeds nicely into that gun. But like I said, whatever gun you're using, just make sure your enhancement complements it, and that's you. And for the firmware, we're taking all melee, of course, so we're taking 3 points of Real Big Fist, so melee damage by 25%, a further 25%, and melee kills trigger a Nova Explosion for 200% melee damage. And the second one, we're going Action Fist, so another 25%, so that's 75% total, and then 30% action skill damage. I'm not sure how that factors into the melee, because our action skill is going to be doing melee damage, so I don't know if that just means it does an extra 30% damage, and I'm not sure if all the melee damage buffs are additive or multiplicative, but either way we're going to be dealing a hell of a lot of melee damage with these ones. For the specializations, you'll need 50 points for this one, so you need to spend 10 in Sharpshooter and 20 in Runner to unlock Daredevil. The 10 in Sharpshooter are just giving us reload speed and handling. The 20 in Runner are movement speed and melee damage. That's to allow us to unlock these 2 skills here, so we can now hit fire while sprinting, and we gain gun damage the faster that we're moving. And Groundbreaker, so gun, action skill and ordnance damage is stored, and then melee attacks or slam deal bonus kinetic melee damage based on the store damage and consume it, so that just allows you to get a lot of burst if you've done a lot of damage in a short period of time. And then we've got 20 points into Daredevil for action skill cooldown rate, so that's just going to allow us to get our Reapers up more often. We're taking, now with Caffeine, we're going to reduce action skill cooldown rate whenever our rep kit's activated. Again, just giving us more uptime with our Reapers. And a Honed Mind, so action skills get a chance to critically hit and gain a critical hit damage, so 5% critical hit chance and 50% critical hit damage, so just going to give the Reapers a chance to critically hit, which is excellent. And that wraps up the build, so we're going to go and kill the Quake Thresher because he's the week's encore boss, and it'll be a pretty good showcase of what this build is capable of. See, look, he's just spawned as a badass like straight away. That's the Bugbear. Look at how damage it does, and we're not even like that concerned about the gun damage itself, but we just summon these Reapers. That's where most of our melee damage is going to be coming from. It's not actually going to be coming from us The bugbear's just really goddamn good. There we go. Just throwing daggers. So if you watch their health, you've got your Slippy as well there, just for extra melee damage. And then the shield's been consumed there on the melee. So if you see, if you look down the bottom left, you can see your melee override cooldown, so you know when it's going to do the override attack. This is really nice, man. How are you doing, Worm Thresher? Woo! See you later. Damage is actually insane, man. Got an electric pistol just to summon electric wraiths if we have, and a cryo one just for dealing with different elements. Because when you switch to that gun and summon the Reaper, it's going to spawn in that element. So if you've got like enemies with high shield capacity, then obviously summon an electric one. Or if they're armoured, cryo or corrosive. So we've got cryo in this case. You can use corrosive if you want, they're both pretty good against it. Just so that you're prepared for all different enemy types and health types. Alright, here we are at the big Encore boss. So not actually done this one, but we'll see how it goes. Not done it on big Encore anyway. Summon a Reaper straight away. You can summon 2 and then your Grim Reaper. You can't have more than 3 up at one time. There's another skill for that, but we're not using it. I don't know why the hell we're doing cryo damage there. What the hell are we doing cryo damage for? I'm not sure of the increase in health here. So they're just going to keep hitting him. Like, the good thing about they actually taunt as well, so a lot of the attention won't be on you. Slippy in the mouth. Oh yeah.
You're on the cutting edge now.
You can't trigger that. Oh jeez. What just happened there? Can't trigger the specialization, like explosion with the kunai or the phase daggers, which is kind of annoying actually if I'm being honest. Oh my god, he almost killed me. Ooh, jeez. Good damn. Look at that health. Oh wait, he's almost dead. I didn't even realise he was in such a poor state. Daggers. Oh look at that burst damage. That's insane. Slippy in the face. Oh no. Oh, you need to watch yourself with that one. Where's the other Reaper? Did they kill him? There we go. So some of them are badasses, but like I said, they can just instantly spawn as a badass. Oh no. Wait, this guy's got an absolute boatload of health. Kill him. Is that not hitting him? It's so big it's not even hitting him. Reapers, why are you not like... There we go. Kill him. There we go. Ooh, we got a legendary. Hell yeah. What was it? What'd you drop, buddy? Yeah, that was... I mean, we went down, but he was actually really goddamn easy. The build is insanely strong. Highly recommend you give it a go. Oh, we got the TK's wave. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. But that's a good little showcase of the build there for you. So hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Definitely give it a go. It's a huge amount of fun. I've enjoyed it a lot, and it's pretty easy to farm for. You don't need a huge amount of gear, but if you have enjoyed this one, drop a like. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new here. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.